Hello, welcome to our virtual community. You are probably seeing this video inside of the BOD Groups or Beachbody On Demand app in the intro group that's going to just get you oriented within our community. And I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for choosing this community, and I will do everything I can to make this a rewarding and fulfilling and successful experience for you that helps you reach your goals. So on that note, I wanted to just go over really the basics of what you need to know, not just to find your way around this app and the technology piece of it. That's actually going to come in separate videos. But this video is really about setting the tone for your journey. So we have some ground rules in our community that I'll be telling you about, just so you get kind of the vibe and what we're about. And then just some ways to get the most out of your journey. So you're probably here because you either purchased a challenge pack, performance pack, a BOD membership, or another qualifying purchase, or maybe you are a preferred customer. Thank you for being part of our community, for the discount and all the cool benefits that you receive as a VIP, including free samples of all new products when they come out. And or you might even be a coach building your own business on our team, in which case I'm so excited to see where you take this and how it grows for you. So just a word about that. Anything that you purchase, yes, I do receive a commission for that. And thank you, because those commissions are what pay for the time that I put into these groups. So I think and I hope that it's a win-win. We have amazing products and programs that I stand behind. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. But that is the reason that I do require a purchase of some sort to be in these groups, because there's time. My time is worth something. The time that I put in is worth something. And it's also not fair to the people who are paying to have people who are in the groups who didn't pay anything. So that's really just my reasoning behind how I structure and restrict access to my groups. Thank you for understanding. And, like I said, I hope that it's a win-win, because you're getting some really amazing products as well as an incredible community for what you have paid. So the number one first thing for getting the most out of your journey, never forget that what you get out of it is what you put into it. I don't want this to come off as like ripping on my customers. Of course, I'm happy when you buy something from me, because that's like the start of your journey and it's so exciting. But there are a lot of people who take the first step of making a purchase and they never use what they purchased. So that's my number one piece of advice. Like, square one, don't be that person. You've made the commitment, now follow through on your commitment. And just take it one step at a time. But, the first step is going through the rest of the content in this intro group and getting yourself acquainted with the app. You also should have received some intro emails from me, depending on what you purchased. Take a look at those, read through everything. Don't just set this aside and say you'll come back to it later. Start now and set aside a little bit of time each day, and it will become a habit. That's how it becomes a habit. And then the other thing that I need you to commit to is no self-judgment. And that's a tougher one. It takes some time, because many of us are perfectionists, we're judgmental, we have high standards, and we are used to being really hard on ourselves. It is not easy to deprogram that and do it a different way. So that's not a change you can make overnight, but these two tie together, because maybe you watch this video and maybe then a month goes by and you haven't done anything else. You haven't played a workout, you haven't opened your Shakeology, you haven't come back into this group to visit, and day by day, those feelings start creeping up on you where you're really, really judging yourself, right? can you just feel it? I can feel that like icky feeling of like, oh, I'm a failure and oh, I suck. I'm so unmotivated. What's my problem? We've all had those thoughts, right? What is the impact of those thoughts? They're demotivating. The last thing you want to do is come in here and face what you've been avoiding and how long you've been avoiding it. I know I've been there. I still do it with certain things in my own life, believe it or not. But so I need you to promise me that when you find yourself getting into that space of, oh, I suck, the self-judgment, as soon as you notice it, you'll pull back and say, just bring some compassion. Say to yourself, it's okay. I understand. It's been a tough month. I understand why this happened. And I'm just going to start right now. Going to go watch another video right now and learn something. Going to go play my first workout right now. Just let the past be behind us, not punishing myself for what came before, but I'm going to make a different decision from this point forward. And if you bring that mentality, so that's what I mean by no self-judgment of what happened before. Just start fresh now. Because the avoiding becomes a habit too. Okay? So when you notice that avoiding is a habit, I need you to make a different choice and reach out to me. Just send me a message, say, hey, I really want to do this right now. Can you support me? Something that simple. And then I'll, send you the message the next day. How's it going? Look for you checking into our group, etc. We take it from there. But that's what I'm here for as your coach. I need you, though, also to not go into the witness protection program and ghost me and dodge my messages. I will reach out to you. I will ask how you're doing. And you're not doing yourself any favors by avoiding what you had wanted to commit to. So that's another piece of advice, actually. It gets a little trite, this command to have a deeper reason why you're doing it. But it is really important because if you can think to yourself, okay, I really don't feel like playing today's workout, or, I'd rather go have some Doritos than my healthy lunch. If you can think to yourself, okay, well, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I know my mental health really suffers when I don't get my workout in. I get terrible insomnia when I don't exercise regularly. I feel really anxious when I don't eat balanced meals. I get grouchy. I yell at my spouse. I'm impatient with my kids, or my weight is preventing me from playing with my kids. I don't feel as good as I would like to. Those are all examples of a deeper reason why that can drive behavior if we stay connected to it. So do a little thinking. It should be, there's a reason that you committed to the program. Like, why do you need this? And if you can stay connected to that deeper reason why, that's going to get you out of that avoidance. If you find yourself avoiding and you've been away for, several weeks, several months, come back to your deeper reason why. And that is why it's worth taking action even when inertia is winning. All right, let's talk about the ground rules for the group. Sparkling water, not soda, not beer. Okay, rule number 1. Everything stays body positive. That's really, really important. So no posting a picture being like, I'm so fat. I hate my stomach. I know there are a lot of spaces where people talk that way, and I know that a lot of us might talk that way inside our heads. But I need you to be more intentional about it because we are creating a space where we don't allow those kinds of statements. Why? It's not that I'm trying to restrict your freedom of speech. If you want to go somewhere else and talk about how much you hate your body, I would encourage you not to, but you can do that if you want to. But within our community, I ask that people keep their statements about your body and, everyone else's body too. Keep it positive. We probably shouldn't be commenting on other people's bodies unless they, I don't know. I mean, let me, little aside here. This doesn't mean that you can't shout out oh my gosh, I have biceps. Yeah. It's not that you can't ever talk about your body at all. You can celebrate those wins. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but what I want to say is the more you can detach your worth from your appearance, it's just going to make a more fulfilling health and wellness journey overall. And I think for most people, a happier life. I mean, that's based on my experience. It's also based on, I've talked with so many people who have lost a large amount of weight and they find that they still have the same body dysmorphia issues, that it's almost like losing weight is one thing, but handling what's inside our heads is like something totally different. And we need to work on that too. If you're doing the work over here and you're not doing the work over here, I don't know what the end of the sentence is, like you're like in for a rude awakening, I guess is what I want to say. So if you're used to telling yourself like, I'm so ugly, and beating yourself up in your head, once you lose the weight, all of that way of thinking is still going to be there. So that's like, surprise, right? But it really is, nobody has a perfect body of like a Greek statue or whatever. Like, we're not perfect. We have flaws and scars and asymmetries and injuries. We're, perfectly imperfect. We're beautiful just as we are, but it's not perfection, right? Asymmetrical faces, broken nose, whatever, like all kinds of imperfections, callus from writing, like all of us have things like this. So the more we can embrace those, it really does lend itself to deep and long-lasting happiness. And in some ways, criticizing your body, just like feelings about other parts of life become mapped onto our bodies. So hating my stomach is like a really convenient way for me to not look at, dynamics within my family. This is a hypothetical. Or, things where I'm dissatisfied in my job, also hypothetical. Okay, but those are just examples. When we're unhappy in other areas that we feel we don't have control over, we can start to just obsess over being critical of our bodies, and it almost just, it distracts us from what we're really not happy about. So we can't necessarily solve all of those problems within our community, but we can provide you with a supportive environment where you start to explore that. And if you have been super unhappy with your body, I know it's a little bit like, whoa, I came in here to lose weight and now you're asking me like, what am I really unhappy with in my life? So don't freak out, but just keep an open mind and allow yourself to ask the question, is this really about my body? Okay, if you're having super self-critical thoughts about your body, ask yourself, is it really about my body? And just stay open to the answer revealing itself over a period of time. But then when you come in the community, keep it positive, even if you don't feel like it. Think about it as like, you're at the office and someone says something that makes you really mad, but you gotta keep it under wraps and express your anger or dissatisfaction in a way that is polite and courteous. Maybe still get some message across, but you can't just start flipping out, right? So I would ask you to have the same level of self-control with the messages that you direct toward your body. So maybe you look in the mirror and you feel this absolute like boiling hatred. I hope not, but it might happen. And I have actually been there myself. Some days it still happens. So there is a choice. In that moment, you can either go off down that path with the really vicious thought, or you can pull back and say, you know what? I am not going to speak that way about myself. I'm not going to go off down that path. Okay? The thought is here. I had the thought, but I'm not going to perpetuate it. And instead replace it with a kinder thought. Like, okay, I really hate this scar, but it also represents how strong I am in recovering from a surgery where I almost died. Things like that. So even if they don't feel true right away, or if the hateful thought still feels more true, little by little. Replace those thoughts with compassion. And then when you come in the group, so that's the main thing, no self-critical talk, especially about your body, but look at all of your words. If you had a day where you didn't get in your workout, it's totally fine. Like, I'm not saying you can't vent. You can come in and say, wow, I had a really frustrating day. I had a hard day. I would encourage you to keep it clean. Not everyone loves an F-bomb laden tirade. Personally, I don't mind it, but some people mind it. So keep it clean for the courtesy of, and just keeping the peace in the group. But you can express emotions, for sure. You can express emotions. You can say, I'm so mad right now. I'm so sad. Whatever it is, venting is totally fine. But what I would encourage you to pull back from and just think, how else can I say this? If you're like, okay, I didn't get my workout in. Oh, I'm so lazy. I'm never going to succeed at this program. You see what I mean? Where it's that, first of all, it's no longer about just one day. When you're saying, I'm so lazy, you are making it a character flaw. It's not a character flaw. We all have bad days. And then the other thing that you can do, that you could do, that I encourage you not to do, you can make it an all or nothing situation where you're like, I'm never going to succeed at this program. I fail at everything I do. It's like, no, you didn't work out for one day. That's all. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything more than that. So watch the self-critical talk, watch the all or nothing thinking, and hopefully, even if that takes some practice, hopefully it's a skill that benefits you far beyond our community. But that's really the first ground rule of the vibe in our community. Rule 2 and 3 are a lot simpler. Will be more brief. But number 2 is please just read the coach post. We have a team of coaches that lead these groups together. Somebody is putting some time into coming up with content for you each day for your benefit. A lot of them are discussions to get the community talking to each other. A lot of the posts are designed to really help you get the most out of the program. So just take the time to read those. Some of them also have important safety information. When we have new people, I often post, there's a post I have about how do you know the pain of an injury versus muscle soreness. How do you differentiate? If you're new to exercising, that can be a confusing thing. So there's a whole post about that. There's a post about how to know if you are using proper form. There's a post about what to do if you start to feel like you might be getting injured. I have a post with my favorite stretches. Even everything like how to get the most out of your workout. The importance of taking rest days and what's actually happening in your body. Same with the nutrition posts. It's all about what protein is doing in your body, what fiber does in your body. There are a lot of different topics, but these are things that are worth understanding. And, when you purchase the program, it wasn't just what came in your box, if you even got a box. So much of it is digital now. But these resources, and not just the online library, but this living, breathing community is a big part of what you're paying for. So make sure that you're getting your money's worth. Number 3 is to just be a good community member. Now, I know a lot of us, everyone's busy, right? We are all busy. And I know you might only have a few minutes a day to come in the group. There are some people who are super supportive and involved, and I really, really appreciate that, but I know that not everyone has time for that. So my hardcore members who are commenting on every post, I love you. Thank you. And the new members who are seeing that and you're like, there's no way I have time for that. Don't worry. So when you come in the group, look for today's coach post. Make sure you're logging your workout and your supplements, whatever you're logging daily. Make sure you get that logged. And then as you have time, go through what other people have posted and comment, engage. Again, as you have time. I think you'll find, though, that we have an amazing community of, it's 95% women with such diverse life experiences and just a really awesome bunch of people. And I just feel that it will be so much richer of an experience for you if you have a little bit of time to put into getting to know others in the community. And of course, it's also like when you put up your post, how does it feel when you don't get any comments? It doesn't feel good, right? You don't feel supported. So you have to give what you want to get. And again, you know, not saying you have to comment on everyone's post, but just like even some posts here and there, and you start to get to know the members, and it gets to be a little more of getting to know their stories. And then when you're commenting on their post, it's not just like, way to go, thumbs up, but it could be, you know, what ended up happening with the job interview last week and things like that. You start to get to know about someone's life. So allow yourself a little bit of time to do that. And I think that you'll just get that much more out of the community. And also there are prizes. And it's not just, so the most active people, there's a drawing at the end of the month for like a big prize package. But then throughout the month, there are what I call mini challenges. And, you know, this can all potentially change. It might not be formatted the same way by the time you're seeing this. But my point is, every once in a while, at least, there's a post with a prize that you're not expecting and I didn't announce. And so they're just kind of random. They're not on a specific timing. Little mini contests with a random drawing. So you can win things even if you're not like among the most active participants. So the prizes are not only for the people with the most time to spend in the group. Just want to make that point because we all love prizes and freebies, right? I know I do. All right, in closing, make sure you go and watch the rest of the videos in this orientation group and read those emails if you have new customer or new coach emails from me. And, you know, it's also a good idea to maybe set those emails aside in a folder so you can come back to them later as you realize what your questions are that you didn't know you had in the beginning. As you're going through this group here in the app, just comment on each post as you finish it, starting with this one. Let me know you finished the video. Once you've commented on all the posts, then you'll be invited into our current month's group. So this group is really just for getting you oriented. Once you finish getting through all the content, then we'll get you into the main group where everyone else is active. I just wanted to keep the content for this group nice and neat and orderly, just so that it doesn't keep changing and other people posting in between. And, you know, it's a little bit, it can be chaotic in the other groups. So keeping your orientation materials nice and like a closed set of content. And when you get through it, then you can come in and meet everybody. And I can't wait for you to join us. All right. So I will, I'm here to answer any questions. Obviously, I will see you when you're done over in the other group. You got some more videos to watch from here on out. And just always remember to stay connected to the deeper reason that you're doing this. Remember, that's what is going to propel you through everything. So when you're like, oh, I don't feel like watching this stupid video, just remember, like, this is part of me getting the most out of my journey to get in better shape, because I just take like a personal example. I'm having surgery later this year. I want to be as strong as I can before I go into that. But taking it to the big picture, you know, it's not just about watching a video. Think of the big picture of why you're doing this. That's what I'm here to support. And I'm just so excited and grateful to be your guide. See you soon. Good luck to you and much love.